You gain control of JK Rowling's Twitter account for a day. What unnecessary piece of information do you add to Harry Potter lore?
After Book 2 and the Polyjuice experiments, Ron and Hermione permanently switched places.
Blimey, Hermione.
Bloody hell. Fred and George Weasley switched places during the Battle of Hogwarts. When George died, Fred adopted George's life, complete with cutting off his ear, because he figured George wouldn't want him to spoil the joke.
Makes sense as to why George ended up marrying Angelina Johnson when it was Fred who dated her at Hogwarts.
They both dated her, she only thought she was only dating Fred. It's win-win.
She knew, it was only the rest of the school who was fooled. Ron likes to take all his clothes off when he poops.
The Forbidden Forest is forbidden because Dumbledore and Hagrid have an illegal grow-up hidden inside. The Wizarding School is a front to launder money.
And nobody is actually at a magic school at all. They are all just stoned AF.
When you're using the invisible cloak, you're not actually invisible, you're naked. They just choose to ignore you as to not make things awkward.
That explains why Fudge and Malfoy send Hagrid straight to Azkaban without a trial in Book 2 when they walk into Hagrid's hut while Harry and Ron are hiding.
I would make it clear that the cursed child is not canon.
Go one step further and declare it is an in-universe book written by Rita Skeeter.
Harry frequently entered the girls' dormitory.
How did he defeat the staircases that turned into ramps? It's the most impenetrable security system ever invented. Just think, if only Gringotts had used ramp staircases.
Come at it from above. Slide into the dorm same as he did those DMs.
The Loch Ness Monster is someone who tried Polyjuice potion with basilisk DNA.
There is a Wizarding World version of magic, the gathering called Muggles, the Congregation. Edit. Thanks for the gold, kind stranger.
I'll tap 3 to play my Plane Walker, Gavin the accountant, triggering the effect off my Derek from our adding 1+1/+1 counter to every office worker on the battlefield. I end my turn. Edit. Okay, who the fuck played Guild? That card was banned from Standard during the Bronze Age expansion. Edit 2. I fully endorse the Discord server someone posted in reply to my comment.
The sock that freed Dobby was actually a Potter family heirloom, having been worn by Bobby Charlton in the 1966 FIFA World Cup final. The Potters were very quiet about how they came to acquire it.
I'd clarify that Dumbledore wasn't really gay, just gay for pay. Figure that way, nobody is happy.
In order to have the feast so lovingly described, house elves of Hogwarts had perfected the art of reusing leftovers multiple times. They secretly go to cheap restaurants and learn from muggles. Recently they discovered internet, and now Dean Thomas's mother prints out for them every tip and trick she can find at frugal living blogs.
Harry doesn't have a left pinky toe. It was the only part of him hurt by the killing curse when he was a baby. And then all of us fan theorists will wonder why Lily didn't love his left pinky toe.
Have you never heard the story of Achilles? Obviously Lily was holding Harry still by his left pinky toe, so that part of his body never got protected by her love.
Witches and wizards have microscopic beings called magi-chlorians that live within their bodies, which grant them access to magic.
You monster.
Carrot.
Harry put his name in the Goblet of Fire.
How do you know? Did you ask him calmly?
Hashtag did you put you fucking name in the goblet, you little cunt. Dumbledore.
Snape was a stamp collector. This is the real reason James Potter bullied him.
The protagonist was actually the flying car, and everything after is just epilogue.
Harry Potter is Cars 3. Carrot Kachao Expecto Petroleum.
The Sorting Hat was %100 unnecessary for class distribution. Its primary purpose was to get rid of head lice.
Voldemort doesn't have a butthole after resurrection.
He's like a smooth Ken doll down there.
Harry was originally supposed to be Latino.
Harry was Latino because I never ever mentioned his race. And hashtag X200B. Ignore the cover art, that isn't canon. And hashtag X200B. Dot. And ignore the times that I described him. Edit. Fun fact, guys, I've met Latino people before. It was a joke.
Buckbeak was a metaphor.
That most people don't play beyond their early 20s because they develop Quidditch asshole.
Every so often a player has to retire because a snitch goes somewhere where you don't usually want a vibrating golden orb. and frankly Therese no returning from that ignominy.
I open at the close.
Hermione was actually a collective delusion shared by Harry and Ron, and Crumb went with it because he's hugely unstable.
No, Crumb's a delusion too. Harry and Ron just decide they need to feel jealousy to experience their sexual awakening, so they compile a list of attractive characteristics and make them into Victor. Harry, he plays Quidditch. And he's super famous. Ron, and his head is totally shaved and he's from somewhere hot like Bulgaria.
Hagrid shaves all his body hair from the neck down. Thanks for the gold/you/Darth Mule.
Alternately, Hagrid has no hair from the neck down, and he doesn't need to shave. He's just totally smooth. Like a porpoise. Stupid sexy Hagrid.
He also wears a fat suit to hide the fact that it's only his ass that's enormous.
Buckbeak is an animagus who is fully intelligent and capable of turning back into a human at any time, but doesn't because it's his fetish. Harry and Ron used some of Hermione's hair plus polyjuice potion to kill some time in the dormitories.
Harry's favorite finger, for no particular reason, is his left index finger.
Dobby's asshole has the same properties as a bag of holding and can expand to accommodate any object no matter the girth. Teenage wizards would jack off in front of the hottest moving paintings.
Harry pronounces it GIF, not GIF.
I'm writing a new book. I'll make her add a lot more lore by bumping community expectations.
Well, technically she is, just not HP. She's currently writing a crime novel, which should have released last year.
Muggle orphanages know about magic, and when an orphan shows magical prowess they phone the Ministry of Magic for pickup and leave the baby outside. The ministry hasn't figured out how voicemail works and never come to pick up the children.
Well, this explains why the White Walkers keep sparing the orphanages.
Voldemort's parents were anti-vax.
I double down and declare that some of the older teachers at Hogwarts would forget they were supposed to use toilets now, so occasionally they'd just drop through and urinate in front of everyone.
The goblins at Gringotts don't have children. They just randomly split one day during a mitosis-like process and then go about their days. Their suits are part of this process, my amazing significant other.
There's a witch writer called KJ Rowling, famous for her Muggle book series Harold Rogers, where the protagonist engages in wacky Muggle adventures. Edit, 48 inbox notices and not one Hogwarts letter.
With sidekicks Roberta Beasley and Herman Danger.
A wacky Muggle adventure written from the perspective of a witch sounds like an amazing children's book.
Potter Puppet Pals is now canon.
Professor Snape was a single mother. Guess which character is actually gay?
All of them.
I don't think I could top the post she made about wizards disappearing their poo with magic before Muggles invented toilets.
George Weasley was adopted. Not Fred though. One of my favorite quotes from any piece of Harry Potter media comes from an interview of the actors who played Fred and George. And #X200B. So are you two actually twins in real life? No, it's funny. We actually met at the audition. And #X200B. That line kills me every time.
How Hermione really loved picking Ron after they got married.
Twilight is absolutely in the same universe.
Hagrid tried foe and didn't really care for it.
This is so delightfully pointless. I love it.
Underneath the robe, Professor McGonagall is actually two twin dwarfs standing on each other's shoulders. They take turns being on top so the other doesn't get tired.
Ron is adopted and dyes his hair. Edit, thanks for the gold, kind stranger.
Molly sneaks into his room at night to maintain the spell that keeps him ginger. I actually always envisioned Dumbledore aggressively asking Harry, maybe even yelling, if he put his name in the Goblet of Fire.
Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? Dumbledore asked calmly.
That the Queen of England is a living Horcrux and that's why she just won't die. Edit, ooh, shiny. Thanks.
Okay, this one is the best. She made herself a Horcrux as well as Prince Philip, and she is now the most powerful witch in all of Europe.
Voldemort's penises also have snake-slit noses.
Greater than penises. Cursed.
Snape was a never nude. Edit, holy shit, this blew up. Thank you for the gilding.
The My Immortal fanfic is now 100% canon, thank you. J.K.R.
Just Googled this and skimmed the first page before noping out. There's such a thing as too much cringe. Edit, apparently internet historian has done a dramatic reading of it. I'll check it out.
We don't know anything about the author/intent of the fanfic, but the consensus is 99% that it's the greatest troll fanfic ever written.
I'd rather have my boss catch me watching actual porn than having to explain reading that fanfic to him.
Hagrid's dog Fluffy and Mrs. Norris were lovers.
Hogwarts in the 60s was a drug-fueled Technicolor dancing orgy every night, and the only reason it doesn't come up more often is because not a lot of people clearly remember it.
Ron and Hermione's safe word is mudblood. Ada, and now my most voted comment is about wizards fucking. Time to put on my robe and wizard hat and start writing fanfic, I guess.